Out of the 8 billion podcasts that claim to talk about sports, 99% of them talk football and basketball. And that's about it. That's because they don't know about anything else. And they bore you to tears. Welcome to the Sportsocracy, the Ocho, where sports meets comedy, sports analysis, laughs, and the occasional debate that'll likely blow the roof off. We're rowdy and loud and bringing the party straight to your ears.
The party has arrived.
And by the way, you don't have to be a sports fan to like this show, because we're pretty damned awesome, even when we're not talking sports. From baseball to hockey to wrestling to the UFC and beyond, we love it, and we're talking about it. And now your hosts, Armchair, hailing from Canada. He's a sports encyclopedia. And Dubs, the quintessential masshole who's always down for some lively banter and a little bit of the green stuff. And we're not talking about the outfield grass. Let's rock this. This is the Sportsocracy, the Ocho.
It's Dubs. It's AC. Welcome to the Ocho.
Another
hey,
it's Sam Hauser splashing threes on your favorite team's face.
It's got to be May. Welcome to May 1st.
Oh yeah.
Hey, it's listen. We don't talk football here, but how'd you feel about the draft?
I mean, we talked about Drake May a good bit. He wasn't my favorite quarterback coming out, but I mean, he's my guy now. I'm all the way in. I'm sold. This is my guy. 8 to 10 Pro Bowls, maybe close to that many Super Bowls. Something outrageous, outlandish, I'm sure. He's going to have crazy numbers. But I like that we just went after the positions of need. We needed to build a whole new offense, and they did that. 2 receivers, a tight end, a quarterback. They got a couple linemen. Reached in a couple spots, but, I mean, when you have this many holes to fill, it's whatever.
It doesn't matter. It all gets played on the field anyway, and
it's gonna be a couple of years anyway, regardless.
I'm not expecting much.
Nope, don't need to either. Slow burn. Let Drake May sit behind Jacoby for a year or two. We'll get him going. Yeah,
get him going. We have so much hockey to talk about, and we will get there. I promise we will get there. We have some eliminated teams. Curious your thoughts on those that are no longer with us in the playoffs. R.I.P.
R.I.P. Forever in our heart.
Tots and pairs to all of the eliminated teams. But we got to start with some baseball.
Tots and prayers to Steven Stamkos' lightning career.
We had a brawl, like a real hoopla.
Fisticuffs. A real tussle.
A real life Donnybrook.
On the baseball field, nonetheless.
On the baseball field. First off, how do you feel about brawls in baseball? Because it always feels like it's one or two guys. Like, when you watch it, it's like one or two guys like trying to fight, but they don't really know how to fight.
They do it kind of prison style, where there's 40 guys standing around to take your attention off the 2 people that are actually beating the shit out of each other. There's like just a wall of people just holding each other and pushing around. It's like every play by the net in hockey. There's just you're not fighting every play, but there's a lot of pushing and shoving and shit talking.
It's just monkey fists. It's just this the whole time. You're not actually hitting anyone. You're just hoping to hit someone.
High drums.
Yeah.
But I like it. The sport's so boring, and it's as McAfee says, it's a bunch of old whites. It's like we gotta spice it up sometimes. There's no quicker way to do it than a fight. Yeah, bat flips, all that kind of stuff. And then I love the other side of that too, where it's like, oh, you pimp a home run on me, I'm throwing 96 in your rib cage.
I don't want him to hit the guy. I want him to come in close though. I want like a warning. This happened. I love telling this because I like telling this story because it always makes me feel better about where the Jays were. There was a guy who, it might have been John Means, might have been someone else who pitched for the Orioles. And every time Jose Bautista came up to the plate, he would try to pitch him like high and inside and like really intimidate the guy. And like Bautista went like, I want to say like 7 or 8 at bats in a row where he just absolutely like just dingers, just not. And I'm not talking like ringing doubles. I mean like out of the yard, like 450 plus,
parking it,
crushed. Like you need a new windshield. I hit it to the parking lot, kind of obscene. So I like. There's a time and a place for it, 100%. I also think that the sport desperately needs more. Like desperately needs more of it.
Right. It gets people talking. I mean, even the Discord was lighting up about it. Like it's gets the people going. Need some fights. Need a little animosity, vitriol, rivalries, all that kind of stuff.
Well, who's the true rival now? Like I'm gonna throw this back to something I said last week. There was like Madison Square Garden was boring, which is crazy. It was quiet for a Rangers game. Knicks, different story. I'll agree completely. As a basketball venue, still very much in play, and especially when the Knicks are relevant, which they are right now. But like for baseball, where is that? Like, where's the rivalry? Where's your Red Sox, Yankees? Where's the like hate?
There's not. I mean, everyone hates the Astros, but that's different.
Yeah, but Pirates, Reds used to like.
When you're winning 10 games.
Cardinals used to hate on, like that whole division used to hate each other.
Right.
Jays and Yankees go at it a lot. Red Sox
that's gone.
Heated. Is gone. Like where did all of our rivalries?
I can't even name one.
Like
there's always going to be the historic rivalries, but it's not like it was. It's like the Red Sox and the Yankees were liable to get in a fight like every time they fought. Every time they played, excuse me.
It's a rivalry on paper. It's not in real life.
Right.
You're not actually talking like shit about the guys. You know what I mean? Like no one's coming in there being like, "Oh no, fuck that guy."
The Celtics and the Heat hate each other.
Yes.
Hate.
Yes, I never thought we would get to a point where basketball rivalries were more heated.
Yeah. I mean, they are.
What happened?
Pacers and the Bucks, they hate each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's none of that in baseball.
Where is
You're right. It's gone.
It happens in hockey because they play each other in the playoffs, and it's 7 games of grinding and hacking and smashing and hitting wrists and hands with sticks. And
the Carolina Hurricanes are forming the New York Islanders into serial killers with the amount of just beatings they've handed them over the last 3 years. This is the start of the Islander villain arc because you can't get beat that many times by the same team and not like. No. I'm fighting you every time. I don't care. Even if we're going to lose, then we're fighting.
I want to see it. What's up, Doyle? What's up? Doyle feeling good.
If baseball had more rivalries and all that kind of shit, we'd be pitch clock helps a lot. You need to piggyback, keep it going. Save the sport.
Doyle says Islanders deserve nothing but a villain arc. They still lose. You're probably not wrong. Probably not wrong.
They bother the shit out of me too.
The Islanders?
Every other team is just like they're not good. They just bug me. Again, don't like their fans. Don't like their shitty arena.
I don't mind their fans because there's only like 8 of them.
There's 8 of them and 6 are dicks.
They're real loud. Yeah, you say that like Boston fans aren't also.
Oh, I know we are, but they're my people. Yeah, but they're my people.
I say that like I'm
outside of the racisms and
scumbags,
but
we don't want those. Yeah. Don't do crimes, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't do crimes.
I wish we had more rivalries in baseball, and it would make things a lot better.
As like, Jason Tatum absolutely cooks Tyler Hero.
I miss it. I want to see more people. I want to see more. Just absolute like Jose Bautista running to second base and getting punched in the chin because he's dummied your team so many times that you have to physically fight him. I want someone to physically fight someone. It's not going to be Mike Trout, who is once again injured.
Or Pedro Martinez laying down Don Zimmer on the ground.
Which was so sad. Pedro's like, I'll fight.
It was an assisted fall.
He's like, I'll fight anyone. And like an 80-year-old man runs out and they're like, maybe not that guy. And they're like, that's the best we got. He's like, all right, down you go.
Yeah. Just kind of sidestepped him with a push.
Down you go.
He was going to fall regardless.
He was on his way down.
I have a big mural of that brawl.
It's a great brawl. It's a real brawl.
A-Rod and Veritek at the heart of it. Fantastic.
Mike Trout, once again, injured again.
Perpetually injured.
Might not lose this season, but I don't know if that matters. Because he is, as Tony Kornheiser put it today, sentenced to Alcatraz. And if he was in the NBA, he would have been gone 3 years ago.
Yeah.
He's playing with Anthony Rendon, who doesn't believe baseball is a real job. He's not. I'm not convinced he even wants to play. I'm pretty sure Anthony Rendon, if he could retire,
he leaves the stadium and goes straight to like a 7-Eleven. He's just working like convenience store clerk.
No, man, what pickleball instructor, 100%.
Yeah, you're right.
That guy's a pickleball instructor.
Yeah. White shorts
at a senior citizens retirement community.
Yeah,
that's what that guy's doing. And Shohei, of course, left for $500 million or whatever. What do you do with that guy?
Trout would probably pay $500 million to get out of there at this point. I would.
Where do you want to see? Does he not just need to play on the East Coast? Like literally anywhere on the East Coast?
He's from Jersey, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Come back home, Mike. Come this way.
I don't want to see him in a Yankee uniform, but that would arguably be better than literally.
Preferably the NL.
Yeah. You want to put him on the Mets?
Sure. Yeah, he won't be dangerous there, but he can at least like have some fun playing baseball.
Unfortunately, that wouldn't break the curse of getting injured. Mets are always injured.
Yeah, they're always injured. The Red Sox are heavily injured right now. Most injured team in the league, and we got the lowest ERA. Who would have thought?
Blue Jays aren't injured. We just suck.
So do the Astros.
We don't suck that bad.
They're bad.
They're real bad. What happened there?
What happened there? Warriors.
Holy shit!
They just fell off a fucking cliff this year.
They were like, "Oh shit! It's May. I didn't even know it was baseball season."
They're still in Florida.
Yeah, they're hanging out. Most of them are still in their spring training facilities. Are they Cactus League or are they?
I gotta say the same thing. They might.
I don't know if they are. They might be in Arizona. I don't know.
We'll
see. Yeah. It is what it is.
That's great.
We're not doing MLB power rankings tonight, but they're hot. They're real hot.
They're hot. And the A's swept the Pirates. Could not be me. You know how many times the A's got swept last season? In a series. Count 2, 3, 4 games. All of them count. How many times?
It's got to be a big number, doesn't it? Like 40.
It was 22.
22? Yeah.
They were swept 22 times across 2-game, 3-game, and 4-game series. Not losing that many series. Swept.
Yeah, just swept. Just straight up, you don't get to play.
The Pittsburgh Pirates got swept by that team. After they sold their souls and going to play in the Arizona Coyotes version of an MLB stadium.
Reds need to get better. Well, that's the problem. Cincinnati's awful right now. And yeah, we're going to talk some Stars and Knights. Financially invested.
2-2, baby. I thought we were going down hard in that series for a second.
we got so much hockey to go over.
I saw a Leafs fan today post that the Knights are the biggest villain in the NHL.
We'll get there. I don't think so.
They've been around for less than half a decade. No, was this their 5th season, 4th season?
Yeah, they're not the biggest villain. People just want to dislike them. So Doyle saying if the Reds get hit above 200, they'd be 19-9. Yeah, I feel you, buddy. I feel you. Ask me how many times the Jays have scored more than 6 runs. It's not many. So yeah. It's not great. Hey, we got Joey Votto. He's in the minors, starting to swing a bat again. We'll see what happens.
They used to have Joey Votto.
Yeah. Also, probably could have still had Joey Votto, but they decided not to. So, it is what it is.
Chose not to participate.
In F1 news, we have I would consider it pretty shocking.
It's massive news.
Adrian Newey.
Yeah.
says he out.
The mad scientist.
He's done. Doesn't want to be a Red Bull.
I don't blame him, dude.
See,
you ever been at your friend's house when their parents are fighting? It's the worst.
Yeah.
They're just talking over the screaming, like, oh yeah, okay, we're just gonna ignore this. All right, bet. Yeah, let's keep building Legos.
Yeah, it's no big deal. We'll just talk louder.
It's a very quiet activity for us to be doing with all the hysterics around, but whatever.
Just keep your head down and don't look at mom. Just whatever.
That's basically what's going on. He's sick of the infighting, and he's like, I'm out of here. Fuck this. I want to go build cars.
And he builds great
builds great cars. If you haven't noticed, Max Verstappen's ahead by like a minute some change every race for the last 2 years.
So I think the most important thing to note here is where he goes next is going to be limited by his, God, I love Europe, gardening leave. LOL. Gardening? You're going to go gardening for a year? That's just what they call it when they give him. They're going to give him some mandatory time off where he's not actually allowed to work for someone else. But he
it's like
will.
In wrestling when you get fired, they're like, but you can't go anywhere for a while.
Yeah, you're just. Also, we own your name. That was silly of you to sign that off.
That's a bold choice on your part. Get an agent next time, Brokey.
Why would you do that? Seth Rollins?
Scott Boras is probably hiring.
You big dummy. Why'd you give me your name? I own you forever in perpetuity.
That's your birth name. You know that, right? You're writing your birth name down there? Okay.
Signed Vincent J. McMahon. Adrian Newey rumored to be potentially going to the Ferraris, the Scuderias.
Yeah, they so Aston Martin
want him big time.
Aston Martin offered. He already was like, no, I'm not going there. Hilarious. I cannot put Lance Stroll in one of these masterpieces. Are you kidding me? And then a couple days ago, old Red Fred came down and wooed him behind closed doors for a couple hours.
I
think that's where he's going.
Some vino, a couple of calzones, and we call it a day. We built some nice cars.
They'll fuck it up.
They will. They'll fuck it up. Absolutely.
They have Lewis Hamilton. They'll have Adrian Newey, the best engineer in the business, and they'll still fuck it up.
Carlos Sainz will still win the race. Smooth operator. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, he is. What's going on, Toothy?
For Audi.
Yeah. I mean, it was good.
Andretti had another conversation with F1 this weekend, too.
We'll see where that goes.
Probably nowhere, because they're like, oh, you see how you're meeting me in Miami at the race here that's getting bigger and bigger every year? You don't get how this fits into the... All right. Yeah, we'll see you next year when we talk about this in Vegas.
Who's a bigger villain corporation? Is it the FIA or is it the NCAA?
The NCAA.
Which one? It's got to be, right?
Yeah. There's like literal criminals and oligarchs and oil magnates on the other one, and it's still the NCAA.
It's just funny. It's funny to me. Like, how do you're so bad. Like, you're such a bad organization. They're like, we're going to make a rule up here. Max wins. Don't we have to race? And they're like, you can if you want, but we're done.
We'll give everyone else penalties.
Yeah. It's too funny. You got any more baseball news and notes before we jump to...
Let me double check for you, but I don't think I do. Oh, Evan Longoria.
Oh, Evan Longoria.
The Rays released their City Connects, dude. Those things were fresh.
I like
as fresh as these City Connects can be, because the last few have been bad. The discount Yankees jersey for the Mets, that shit was horrible. Batting helmets, though, sick. Did you see their helmets?
Yes. Big fan of the helmet.
The embossed metal bridge.
Yeah,
oh, that was sick. Brilliant. Hated the rest of the jersey. It was Yankees light. We don't want that.
The Rays City Connect has a Devil Ray, which is who they were named after originally when they joined the Major League Baseball ranks.
Before they became born again.
Before they became the Sunshine Rays.
Yep.
because can't have devils in your names. They released their
Montreal
City
Bay
Connect,
Expirays.
which have Evan Longoria, which is my favorite name for a skateboarding Ray.
Fantastic.
I don't know how you can have it. We had a couple of others that were on there. I don't have it up in front of me. I'm going to have to go dig. Hold on. Fred McTwist, also good. And the Tropicana heel flip.
Love it.
All good. Shout out to Sam Dykstra, MILB, on Twitter for all of those
to Lenny?
incredible names. Probably not. It's probably a made-up name. It's on the X. It's on the X. We have 13 people watching. Welcome.
Is there a good Lenny out there?
Lenny and Carl from The Simpsons.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I was thinking real Lenny's, but like, I don't know. Lenny just seems.
How very
like,
dare you?
I mean, even it goes into my point. I feel like Lenny's just like the guy at the bar. He's always there. You get there at noon for some reason. He's there.
Yeah, that's fair. No, I don't. We'll think about it. Any great Lenny's? Drop them in the chat.
Yeah, if you know a Lenny who's not a piece of shit, let me know.
I know a Lanny. Lanny McDonald was great.
Lanny's
old school mustache.
Yeah, Lanny reminds me of like a no nonsense like classic wrestler.
Lanny McDonald had he had the mustache. Played for Calgary. It was amazing. All right, let's get into this so that we can get your suffering over with bright and early, and we can get into the fun stuff.
Not the Heat, though. We're going to drag that out. Up 22 in Mike Gorman's last game. Holy shit.
Yeah, that'll be good. The Bruins and Leafs played last night.
Yeah, we did.
Or at least you played for 2 periods. I'll give you the floor, but I have some thoughts. What do you want first?
Every player on the roster not named Jeremy Swayman should be absolutely ashamed of themselves. They left him on an island how many fucking times last night, and we couldn't do shit on the other end. They how many times were these 2-on-1, 2-on-0, 3-on-2? Constantly, the whole game, the Leafs had opportunities coming back on Swayman. And on the other end, I mean, we had some. Wall was good. I'll give him credit where credit's due. But he hasn't been all year. It's just flashbacks to Bobrovsky from last year, and I'm scared.
How many shots did Joseph Woll face in the first period?
I don't know the answer to that. It was a decent amount.
No, it wasn't.
No?
No. It was like 2.
Oh yeah, you're right. The first 10 minutes they were just in our zone the entire time. You're right. You're totally right.
It was absolutely atrocious. I'm gonna have to look it up now because I had it here.
Please tell me.
I'm pretty sure it was like 4 or 2. It was awful. They did not show up. They didn't show up for the first half of the game.
The third period was electric. They were going back and forth. We had some chip in our we were looking more like we should. But yeah, we had so many opportunities that we just fumbled in front of the net or didn't get it up enough in the slot, whatever it might be. It wasn't good. Poor execution all around. And again, everybody but Swayman. Swayman was electric. Again, he owns that Leafs team, and we got cooked last night.
Shots on
Austin Matthews.
Shots on goal by period. First period, 11-2 for Toronto. It was 11-2.
Yeah, it's brutal. I thought we had more than that. I thought it was like 6.
Second period, 11-10 for Toronto.
Yeah.
Third period, 12-8 for Boston, and overtime was 4-3. Of course, the overtime.
Overtime felt like it was over in a second.
How do you let John Tavares beat you with speed? With speed?
Yeah, that shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen. We also can't win a fucking face-off to save our lives.
No, I felt.
I think we lost the first 6 face-offs in the first period.
I think that overall, Boston did not show up. They played scared in the first period, and then the second and third period, they were chasing. Oddly enough, in my opinion, if that's the best that Toronto has to throw at you, which it felt like it was.
There's no Matthews.
Doesn't matter. They lost how many games they lose with Matthews. Right. Boston's like 16-1 against Toronto with Matthews in the lineup. It's not that bad. I think it's 7-1. 7-1 with Matthews in the lineup. Are we like? It's not really like it's a big shift. It just means there's one other guy. He's got a dangerous shot, but Swayman seems to have him.
Anyway, yeah.
Swayman has his number. Like how many goals Matthews? Number. How many goals Matthews have in this series? Right. Right. So like, let's not pretend that. And the one that he got was like crazy breakaway. Like
like juked Swayman out of his shoes.
Yeah. Like what do you expect in that situation? I just think that if Boston can regroup after this and not get sucked down the rabbit hole of this is last year, then you're fine.
I mean, good thing I'm not playing, right?
Yeah.
Because I am. I saw all I could see was Bobrovsky. It was just like that flashback. It's okay to not be okay.
You're not that guy. You don't need to worry about it. You're not that guy.
Thank God.
It's fine, man. You'll be fine. Look, Boston has an opportunity to come back and win the series in Toronto, and if not, they have another opportunity to close out in Boston.
I'd rather win it. I'd rather win it in Toronto because we've been horrible in Boston the last 2 years.
My only concern is Pasta. Where's Pasta? What's going on with Pasta? He's
fighting with Matt Nyes, and then Matt Nyes goes and scores the game winner.
That's also the moment of the game was Brad Marchand getting absolutely dummied by a referee.
Yeah, he's good. We'll be sending lawyers. He'll be hearing from our lawyers.
He got fully bodied.
And then got out of nowhere. And then he sends him to the box. How the fuck do you do that? And you could see Brad was so shocked. Once he realized it was the ref on him, he had to process for a second. You can read his lips. He goes, "Get the fuck off me." It was like a 3-second pause before he actually yelled at the guy. He was like, "Did I get hit by the ref? I had to have got hit by the ref. There's nobody else near me."
I don't understand that. I think that they were
crazy.
It was probably one of the more shocking moments of the game.
Most Leafs fans, I think, were pretty like, yeah, I don't know what happened there. They're pretty quiet about it for the most part. I did see some of the crazies like, well, of course you got the penalty. The ref body checked him, dude. And I saw Tim Peel on Twitter bitching about Jack Edwards, like calling out the ref for a bad call, and he looked like the worst human in the comments. He was going at everyone just like a 14-year-old child. Like, you can't get upset at the officiating. Brother, you're going back at people in the comments on Twitter all day long.
Yeah, where we are live, by the way. Shout out to Twitter.
Shout out to Twitter.
Be some X. Absolutely critical game coming up.
Need it. Need game 6.
I want to talk
about It's Swayman.
It better not be Ullmark.
It better not be Ullmark at all for the rest of this series.
It has to be Swayman.
Has to be Swayman.
He's
playing. He's standing on his head right now.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Any goal that's been scored on him, you've just gone, what can you do about that?
The first goal in that game was something he didn't see, a puck he didn't see at all.
Right.
And the second goal is an unfortunate bounce out front. Good stick. Nyes just got his stick on him, knifed it over him. Like, what are you supposed to do?
I also think there's part of the Bruins that really want the Panthers again.
Oh yeah.
And now they know that they get that chance. And all they got to do is close out Toronto, and they get to go back at Florida, make up for last year. Also, if we do somehow blow 3-1, back-to-back 3-1 leads, fucking kill me for one. And second of all, Jim Montgomery, probably gone after that one, which sucks because he's a good coach, but you can't lose back-to-back 3-1 leads in the playoffs and keep your job, especially in hockey. He'll just end up on another playoff team in 2 years, and I'll go, remember when we had that guy? Just like Bruce Cassidy.
NHL coaches always recycle themselves.
Nobody rebounds like an NHL head coach.
FYI, Rick Bowness used to coach the Coyotes, so let's not pretend that it's literally doesn't always happen. I don't want to talk about the Jets just yet because I have questions. Let's talk about 2 games that happened that we didn't get to talk about.
Golf course, quickly.
The Nashville Predators, Vancouver Canucks.
Yep.
Nashville had an opportunity to absolutely take a stranglehold on this series. Vancouver had not been playing well. They won a game with 13 shots or whatever it was. It was awful.
I think it was 11.
It was awful. And then with the goalie pulled, Nashville, as like, it's an empty net, and you hit the post. And what happens when you hit the post? Vancouver comes back, scores. Then they scored again, and then they scored in overtime, and take it back to Vancouver, where they promptly lost last night, 2-1 in another very low-scoring game. How are you feeling about Vancouver, Nashville? It seems like Vancouver can't get out of their own way, although they had more than like 11 shots last night, so that's like a positive. But I feel like I need to see a lot more if I'm going to pronounce Vancouver the victors of this.
I agree, but I think if Nashville was going to swing the series already, they would have. Like, they had their opportunity. No, they don't. They don't have the talent that Vancouver has. They got a hell of a goalie, and Yossi's playing out of his fucking mind right now. Forsberg's been fantastic. A lot of those midline guys too. O'Reilly, that's really it. And it just kind of falls off a cliff after that. They're relying on a lot of young guys as a first playoff experience. And you look over at Vancouver, and they're just an absolute wagon. They've been that all year long. The offense has been incredible.
Archer Shilbos? The third string goalie. I love that guy.
Love it. Fantastic name. We love strong hockey names. By the way, reading side note, listening to Jeremy read off all the names and on the the regular show during the draft process and everything, we need to just read him hockey names. Like, have him print out a thing of hockey names for him to read. And then see how many he fucks up, because he just reads them how they are. And he's like, oh, if that's how it spells it, that's how it should be. Hockey doesn't do that, so I would love to see the concoctions that would come out of that.
We'll get some, like, Konechny's in there.
Oh, yeah. Konechny's a fantastic one.
There's a couple of guys on the Hurricanes.
It was one of them that prompted it the other day. Because I was watching the Hurricanes game, and I can't remember who the hell it was now.
Vancouver should win this series handedly, but we'll see what happens. It was probably Nashus.
Yes, that's exactly who it was.
Which is not spelled Nashus, but it is what it is.
Yep.
It's God, they have great names on this team. We'll give him a couple, like Coughlin. We'll give him Coughlin so that he has like a good Irish
base
to like get his bearings.
Like, what? Yeah, all right. I think it'd be good.
Speaking of those
sheet, and then we grade them afterwards.
Definitely. Speaking of the Hurricanes, they've moved on. R.I.P.
They have. They've got a date with the New York Rangers.
R.I.P. to Patrick Waz fighting New York Islanders, who are currently on the golf course. But let's be honest.
That's where they should be.
Did you think that the Islanders were moving anywhere past the second round or out of the first round?
Nope. Not for a second. I think either of those two, the Capitals or the Islanders. I didn't think either of them were.
Sorry, Tao.
Yeah, apologies to Tao, but he knew it too.
Yeah, he knew it. Everybody knew it. They weren't good enough. They're not good enough to compete at this level. I am hopeful that Patrick Wall will be able to do something with that Islanders team, but I am not expecting them to compete just yet. We'll do preview of Rangers Hurricanes probably next week.
Part of the reason I don't like the Islanders, I think, is because if you look at their roster, they should never be good.
No,
they just weasel their way into the playoffs. Like that stretch where they kept making like second round, third round appearances. It's like, what? How are they here?
Canes Rangers preview will probably be a newsletter drop. And then we'll recap, because I think the schedule only goes out to the 5th right now with the TBDs. So
that's where everybody's schedule should go out to right now. It's Cinco de Mayo. You don't plan for anything after that. There's gonna be tacos, there's gonna be tequila, and then we'll figure out the 6th.
How did you feel about the Colorado Avalanche and the Winnipeg Jets? I got to talk about the Winnipeg Jets.
Okay. The Winnipeg Jets. The same Winnipeg Jets that allowed 5+ goals in their 5 playoff games. Their best players.
How do you
with the Vezina candidate?
How do you? So who's the bigger choke artist if the Leafs fall to the Bruins? Is it Toronto, who are
historically or this season?
No, right now, a little bit of both, to be honest with you, because this is not a new core for Winnipeg either. Winnipeg is the Toronto of the West. Tell me I'm wrong. Talented core, incredible center depth, great goaltending, which is the big difference here. If Toronto had Hellebuck.
Okay, so I think Edmonton's closer to Toronto than
Edmonton made a run to the Western Conference Finals.
Fair enough.
Edmonton's won playoff series.
I just feel their rosters line up more and their issues line up more. But yes, in terms of like actual success, yeah, Winnipeg's closer.
I think that Edmonton has actually won things. They've actually made an effort to get out of the first round and actually succeeded in doing so, and have actually tried. That's why the measure of success in Edmonton is Stanley Cup. The measure of success in Toronto is please get me out of the first round and then we'll talk about it.
They like to think it's a Stanley Cup though.
But they're wrong. We all know they're wrong.
They're wrong.
If those kids could read, they'd be really upset right now, kind of vibes.
Crimes are legal in Canada.
Like, listen, they are. It's fantastic. I got some gummies downstairs. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Listen, I think that Winnipeg's the bigger choker. And I only say that because if Toronto had the kind of goaltending that Winnipeg had, they would be no doubt Eastern Conference final contenders every season. They would supplant Boston and Florida because the roster talent is there. How do you have Monahan and Scheifele and all of those like big power forwards who score a ton of goals? Like they had guys that were like 30, 40 goal scorers. They not? And then like they show up and the Vezina likely Vezina winner.
I don't think you can give it to him now. You can't.
So he gives up like 21 goals, like 3 games.
You can't give him the Vezina now. It has to go somewhere else.
It's not good. It's not good. Shout out to Winnipeg for you blew it. You blew it. Also,
how many times are you going to run it back with this core?
You got to blow it up.
But they just extended those guys. They just extended Scheifele.
That's the Toronto problem. Isn't that the Toronto problem?
Yeah, you're right.
It's the Toronto problem. You got to trade someone now. Now you got to trade someone on an unfavorable deal, and you're going to have to retain money, which you don't want to do, and you're going to suck. This is the problem. You're in a bad spot.
And guess what? Nobody wants to go to Winnipeg.
That's the problem with Winnipeg. It's not like a tax haven. It's cold as fuck most of the time.
Anytime you got to go, you got a long ass flight every direction.
Every direction.
Couple weeks.
Yuck. Gross. Give me any other place over that. That's why Alberta's.
I just was talking about this the other day with somebody. Is there a worse city to play professional sports in North America at least?
It's pretty high up there.
It's up there.
It's up there. It's pretty high up there.
I don't want to go to Winnipeg for anything.
No.
There's nothing there for me. And if I was, obviously they're getting paid. They're playing professionally. Awesome.
Of course.
I don't want to be forced to be there for a weekend, let alone 6.
There are a lot of guys with no trades. A lot of guys with no trades, and Winnipeg's on that no trade. Yeah. Some people don't like the Canadian media, so they don't like playing in Canada. Other people just don't want to play in Winnipeg, and I don't blame them. Also, I said it on this show, and I will say it 100 times over. Veteran leadership and veteran players mean more in the NHL playoffs than they do in any other sports playoffs. It means more than in baseball. It means more than in basketball. It definitely means more than in football. And I think we saw that in this series. Colorado was not a good team coming into this series. They were playing poorly, and they got there. And Makar and McKinnon said, all right, boys, let's go. It's game time. Georgiev showed up. Everybody started playing. After the first game, lit up, and then he was like, all right, time to go. He gave him the old Shania Twain. Let's go, girls. off they went. And they did, and then they went, and now they're on to the next round. So,
I like the Avs. They're a good team. Their coach said this is the best 5 games of hockey we played all season.
They're only going to get better. So I'm happy for hometown boy Nathan McKinnon. He is
from. They had Landeskog too.
They traded, didn't they trade? Who they trade to? I want to say it was they like banished him. Philadelphia. Was it Johnson?
Oh,
one of their centers.
I was gonna say Johansson. Yeah, Johansson.
It was Johansson.
Johansson. They sent him out because he did nothing all year. Then he got a goal like the day before the trade deadline. They're like, value, you're gone.
So high.
Look at that, he scored. Get him out. It's the highest
we're
gonna sell him at.
No more time in hands here.
That was the highest bidder. We got to get him out of here. Get him off the stage.
And of course, the Caps are gone. They're gone. This piece was in the newsletter.
You got to be furious if you're the Flyers and the Red Wings and all those fringe teams that didn't get in just to watch the Capitals go in and get cooked for
5 shots, games. No goals, no points from Ovi in the series, the whole series.
Is this the last time he makes the playoffs?
No. The East is so in the East right now today. Toronto, New York, Florida, Boston. Yeah.
Carolina.
Tell me Carolina's an injury away from not making the playoffs, though. Tell me they're not.
From making the playoffs, though?
Playoffs, why?
They had no goalie. They had no goalies for most of the year, and they're like the favorite.
The Capitals also made the playoffs. Let's not pretend that.
Well, I know, but that was my question. Are they going to make the playoffs?
That's what I'm saying.
I think those 5 teams are a lock.
I think
those are no, they're not. But I think that's a lock.
Fair. Okay, so you've got 3 open slots. Tampa can fill one of them because they're still good.
Okay,
but not a lock. They need to play well, and they need to add some youth to that talented core. Montreal's not there yet. Still young.
I think Detroit's better.
They're on their way up. You got Detroit. They're absolutely in the conversation. Probably should have been there this year. Had some bad luck and bad coaching.
They definitely will be next year.
Yeah.
They had that horrible stretch in December and January that really fucking tanked their season.
The Flyers are bad. The Devils should have been better, but I don't know what they're going to do.
They're the other team.
They're in a rough situation, though. The Flyers and Devils are hurt by crimes.
Don't do crimes.
Don't do crimes. So they're currently in a weird situation where they both have to figure out what they're going to do. Ultimately, I don't see.
They're both probably going to need a new goalie.
The East is wide open. What I'm saying is, I don't see how the Caps couldn't put together a season. Ovi will play. I'll call it here 2.
I think that's my number as well.
2 more seasons.
I think he'll play.
And I think they make it once. It might be next year as an 8 to get swept by the Rangers. Probably.
Is there any part of you that thinks he could leave?
No,
I don't think so either. No. I think he's just going to sit there and go for the goal.
Crosby leaving Pittsburgh?
That's way more likely than Ovechkin.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. It's just not going to happen. I don't think so.
I think Stamkos is out. He played his last game with the Lightning. I think Crosby's going to get dealt in the middle of the year next year, and I think Ovechkin's just going to die with the Capitals.
Well, let's touch on that. The Panthers beat the Lightning 6-1. I just want to say this. 6-1 is not the real game. No. That game had 2 goals disallowed from goaltender interference. Which
one was complete bullshit.
And the other was borderline bullshit.
Borderline bullshit, correct.
One of them you're like, all right, well, we got burned by that, but I get it. But
the other one, you're like, what? And that one was such a momentum swinger, too. How do you call that off?
Which one were you more upset about getting called off? Because I think I wanted the Panthers to move on, I think, in my bracket. But I think I had it going 6, so I was like, Tampa needs to win this game. And I like Stammer and all those other guys. But like, oh, look at this. Oh, hold on. I got to give some
shout out, Jake.
Shout out, Jake. Jake is in the Discord all the time. Jake does a great show on Twitter. You got to watch him. So Stammer's definitely gone. Stammer's definitely gone. Tampa going to make some changes. Core is aging. You would think so. Not really. Go look at the ages of those guys and take a look. It's kind of crazy to think about. They are in the second half of, remember, peak Blackhawks.
Yeah.
Kane and Taves, where you were like, these guys are never going to win again. And then it's like, oh no, they just needed a break.
They could rattle off 3 or 4 more.
They just needed a break. They were just like, I just need to chill for a minute. I absolutely think that there is sorry, I got sidetracked. I got to talk about those goals. Which one made you more mad? I got completely sidetracked by Jake, which is fine.
The one that would have put it to 2-1. I can't remember. I thought was that one first?
The first one?
I think that was the first one.
I think so. The second one bothered me more. The one where the defender pushed him and he was trying to spin off the defender.
That one.
Yeah. So he's trying to spin off, just so I'll try to paint the picture for you. I am not a broadcaster, although I play one on TV. The defender was trying to box out of the crease, which he is allowed to do. And Cirelli, who I think that's who it was trying to get around the defender. So he spun, and the defender pushed him toward the goalie. And then Bobrov just dropped the stick and sold it. And it was horrendous. And the goal gets called back. And that was a momentum killer. Because at that point, it would have been a tie game.
Yeah.
At that point, it's a tie game. And then Tampa gets a lucky bounce goal, which happened. That's hockey. Nobody has any complaints about that goal. It's just, that's how it goes. And then they're forced to do empty net trying to save their season, like a dozen for 6 minutes. I think they pulled the goalie with 4 minutes. And Tampa scored, I think, 3 empty netters, which is just insanity. You think Stammer's gone?
Yes, I think he's done so. The way he sat in the arena the way he sat in the arena last night and looked around and everything, I think he'll go somewhere. Do you don't think he'll end up on a team like
Washington to help Ovi? That'd be amazing.
He's not going there.
Ovi and Stammer.
Just take Cap out of it, but a team like a Florida, a Dallas, a Colorado, a team that's already loaded, and you just slide into a second or third line center role and just put up.
Do you know who could really use him? Winnipeg.
Yeah,
but he's not.
He would never go there.
To be honest,
you think Steven Stamkos, who just spent the last 15 years living on a beach in Florida, is going to go to Winnipeg?
I'm going to tell you two. I'll tell you the 2 places he might consider going: Tampa again, and LA.
I can see that too.
That's it.
He's
not.
I like the Kings because they need scoring, and Dubois sucks.
They desperately need scoring.
I don't know if Dubois is the greatest magician of our generation.
I don't know if you know this, but fuck you, Pierre-Luc Dubois. We're just gonna throw
PLD mind freak.
People that catch strays on the show. Ohio, Pierre-Luc Dubois.
Pierre-Luc Dubois.
End of the list.
The Miami Heat.
I think that he stays. To be honest with you, I don't think he wants it. He had the opportunity as a prime free agent to go to Toronto, where he's from. And he played the game and he got all the offers. And then he went to Tampa and he was like, this is what they're offering me. Can you do it? And they're like, yeah, sure. No problem.
Sure can.
He's not going anywhere. I think he stays. I think he fully stays.
We're going to find
a wager. I wouldn't get a tattoo of it.
We're going to find a wager. Because I've been pushing this for 3 months now, 4 months.
We'll do a torture ticket of some sort. We'll figure something out. Eat spicy death noodles on air or something.
Dude, I can't. I'm such a bitch with spicy. Anything worse than pepper, and I'm gonna start sweating.
No, these are Korean death noodles, man. They have the package is black and the chicken is breathing fire. It's amazing.
The first time I got given a wasabi pea, I was shut my life down.
Amazing. All right. Do we get we didn't get the guys that are still playing. So Dallas playing Vegas right now. That series.
2 in the series.
Financially
invested. Electric series so far as well.
It's
watching the
probably
game
best.
turn in the second period of game 4 was absolutely gorgeous.
2-2 in the game right now, 2-2 in the series. This really can go anyway.
It's been like 10 years now, but goddamn, every time I see Tyler Seguin, I get sad.
You guys blew that.
It makes me so upset. Louis Eriksson will never not be at like the top of my Bruins hate list. He was so fucking bad for us when we gave up Tyler Seguin to get him. Louis
Oilers Kings tonight is the late game, which means that I'm not getting much sleep again. Oilers end this tonight.
Yeah.
They've been the better team by far.
By far.
Connor
Kings shouldn't be out there.
Possessed.
The man wants a cup. The man wants a cup desperately. He
said, all right, bet. That's it. He's ready to go. I've never seen him play like this. Also,
you saw Nathan McKinnon laying in bed with it, and it was like, that. I want that. I want the cup.
Yeah, he was in. Fully in. Are we missing any series?
And the quicker he wins the cup, the quicker you can leave Edmonton.
That's true. All right. That's all I got for series time. You know what that means. It's time for Stone Stories.
Let me get them up here. We're going to you want to take a guess where we're going?
Florida.
Correct.
It's Florida. That's one of the
two.
You
know me well. You know me very, very well.
Florida stories are our favorite. Florida stories are our favorites.
All right. So debit cards and other personal items from multiple burglary and theft victims were found in the purse of a woman accused in a recent alleged carjacking. The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office has reported. According to the Sheriff's Office, deputies were alerted to the carjacking, which happened behind a Publix grocery store in Lake Park around 12:30 p.m. on Saturday, April 13th. They're lucky that is the only thing they found going on behind a Publix at 12:30 on a Saturday in Palm Beach. Within minutes, a deputy reported spotting the stolen vehicle and pulled it over less than 2 miles from the original crime scene. He made it just 2 miles. The purse belonged to the driver, Nakaya Ackland, who was just born for this type of work, her line of work with a name like that. Do I have to tip strippers less if they already have a built-in stage name? She didn't have to think of that. There's less effort, less elbow grease.
Less elbow grease.
Still grease, but less elbow grease. She was the only person in the vehicle at the time, and the one suspected of stealing the vehicle is typically how that goes. According to the problem cause affidavit against her, addition to the credit cards and the debit cards, deputies found another person's driver license and 5 smartphones. Count them, 5-time smartphone thief. She stole those 2 and the Honda Civic that she was driving. If you got 5 phones in there, it could only belong to like a GM, some sort of agent, a Scott Boras type character, right?
It's Adam Schefter's car.
It's got to be. 5 smartphones? They just got here, officer. I swear to God. I didn't steal. They were in the car already. It's got the bumpers hanging off the back of it. Actually, no, it's probably the Jags. It's probably somebody in the Jags organization. I could see the cons behind the back of a Publix.
You know what that is? That's Calvin Ridley's burners so he can make all his bets.
That's what it is. You've cracked the case. CSI Miami.
Detective AC on the case.
In the affidavit, deputies linked all 3 names on the debit cards that were found to the victims of the crimes that have occurred over the past month. One victim reported her vehicle was stolen on April 1st. The same day, a second victim told police her purse was stolen. Wild move to steal a car from one person and immediately go somewhere else and steal something else from somebody else.
Well, if you could steal a car, you can steal a purse. It's the rules of dodgeball.
You're right.
You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Also, I got to ask you.
I got away with the car. I might as well, in the phones and the debit cards, I might as well take a purse too, right?
Name a car that is more suited to crime. A Honda Civic or a Buick LeSabre. Like, which are we? Like,
Buick LeSabre's fantastic too.
Like what is like, who's missing their calling?
Buick LeSabre is the type of guy who's got like 35 charges and they just haven't.
It's got to be like an early 2000s, late 1990s, like LeSabre though. It can't be a nice one. It has to be like two-tone doors.
It's got 400,000 miles on it.
Yeah, it's the old lady's got like the ashtray is full in there. It's still got the lighter.
The car is an ashtray.
The old push.
It's an ashtray on wheels.
It's amazing. Honda Civic though.
Don't even know if it was a Honda Civic. It was the first thing that came to mind because it's Florida crime.
That's true.
So they straighten those stories out. How'd you get the car? How'd you get the purse? The carjacking victim, the latest one on April 13th behind the Publix, 85-year-old victim. He told investigators that prior to the incident, he had solicited Miss Nikaya for sex. She was a prostitute. They had just finished before she took the vehicle. Rewind 10, 15 seconds back so you can understand why that's the most impressive part of the story. Deputy notes that the victim was initially reluctant to press charges against Ackland. Clarity.
Yeah.
Indicating he was ashamed and he wanted to talk to his daughter. Odd.
That's a bold choice.
Hey, I'm out back of the Publix. You'll never believe what just happened. The deputy then asked the lead deputy in the case, which I don't know, is different places a deputy a different rank? Because I deputy implies lower to me. I feel like it's like the private of police stations, but
I feel like a deputy is like the below sheriff.
Like yeah, right.
So it's the number 2.
So it's a deputy asking the lead deputy. Like I don't know, odd to me. Whatever. Where are we? Asked him to arrest the victim for driving without a license. Ended a sworn recorded statement from Woodbury, which was the guy who was behind the Publix, the original victim. Deputies also cited body cam footage from one of the deputies who spoke with Ackland. In it, she said that she and the victim did have sex, and the reason she had his vehicle was because he asked her to get him, quote, a dime of dope. And I don't know how much she thinks that costs these days, but I can tell you what, it's less than 5 iPhones and a Buick LeSabre. The victim denied doing any drugs. Ackland was booked into the Palm Beach County Jail on counts of carjacking, unlawful possession of a stolen debit card, and unauthorized possession of a driver's license. Also, fun fact for you, Florida just earned the coveted number 50 spot in the teacher pay rankings amongst all 50 U.S. states. Good. Keep producing shitty results, and we're going to take it out of your paycheck. If you keep putting out, like, hey, Debbie, let's sit down and talk about this. 33 of your former students were arrested this year on felonies. 17 of them were violent. That's going to be coming out of your check. I like it. Hold them accountable. I want it to happen with Weatherman. You fuck up the weather 3 times a week, we're taking that out of your paycheck.
Dubs hates Weatherman.
For it. I'm all for it. You keep racking up these felonies, you're going to be doing some of the jail time with it.
My favorite part about these crimes is that all of these people were like, oh, I just committed a crime. Now I'm going to do another.
Let's double that. I love that. And
double or nothing. It's like, I just solicited a prostitute and got away with it. How about buying drugs?
It's a common factor. Right? They get like, you steal a car, like, I can steal a purse. I just banged this prostitute outside this Publix. You think I can't go buy a dime of dope? Of course I can. Nobody's going to know.
But why are all these people hitting on 21? That's the real question. You take your win and you go. Don't do crimes. That's going to be it for us. Thank you everyone who jumped in on X, on YouTube, on Facebook. We appreciate you all.
Derek White.
We're having a big Celt energy here. 2-2 in the Stars and Knights. Oilers Kings tonight. Big game tomorrow, Bees and Leafs. And we will have newsletter on Friday, hopefully with some series wrap-ups and predictions. And then Monday we'll have your breakdown of round 2. So I have a feeling that's going to be it. Don't forget to check out Dubs on the Twitch, where he games frequently.
Yes, sir.
Stone Sport Podcast.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. See, I figured it out. I get it.
You got it down. It took me so long. Bertie, like when we were finishing up the podcast every week, he'd be like, hey, you want to like plug shit? And I would just blank deer in headlights. I don't remember.
I might record an episode of the audio podcast, Armchair Commentary, which I haven't released in months. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. I don't know. I might get up to it. I might not. We'll see. I might fuck around and find out. We'll see. Make sure you subscribe to it, though, because it's got 70,000 downloads, and we need to get to 100,000. We got to get to 100.
Run it up.
Don't forget to subscribe to the newsletter. It is free, but you can also pay the premiums. You pay the premium, subscribe for the extra months, and you do us a big solid, but you also get Dubs picks, get my DFS lines, all the extra goodies, try to make you some money. Make it back. Make your money back, and we'll call it even. And then, last but not least, I got a couple of amigos I want to shout out. Perfect Pars Easy Pars newsletter. Sorry, a couple of friends there that you subscribe to them. You want to let me know you're a golf. You give me their you subscribe via their link, and it helps us out. And we got another one for F1 that I can share out. So if you're interested in F1 news, let me know. That's it. That's all. We're done.
F1 news is like reading
it's soap operas.
It's the
telenovela. It's perfect. It really is perfect. It's well worth it. For Dubs, I
may see reading the wall of rich kids stall in the bathroom. Like it's Becky's fat.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Kim had sex with Carl in the park.
For Dubs, I may see. Go Celts, go Bees.
Woo!
We see you next Wednesday. Peace.